So welcome to 2024. It's nice to see you again. And we're kind of mixing things up today. We just decided this too. So I love this.
We're crazy. Hi, Amanda. Hi, everybody who's listening. It's just absolutely fantastic to be back on board and recording and sharing our lived experience and our ideas around recovery from trauma. So happy New Year, everybody. And I hope 2024 is just, a positive one, a really positive one for you in your recovery journey.
And, there's a couple of changes coming up to the podcast that I think a lot of people should probably be aware of rather than having this be a twice a month thing or every other week thing. This is going to be a once a month podcast from now on. And it is going to be on the last Tuesday of the month.
The US.
Yes. Last Tuesday of the month here in the US. So that would be the last Wednesday or the first Wednesday, depending on how it falls.
In Australia and the southern hemisphere. So
right.
Yeah.
So for all you folks over there that are so far away, I'm sorry for any confusion. Can you believe it's already been a year?
I cannot. We were actually talking about this before we started recording, and you reminded me that we actually met online, of course. Was it the 1st of February last year, 2023?
That was when we recorded your episode for my other podcast. That was when we first sat down and really got to know each other.
That's just incredible because then again, while we were just getting ready for recording, we actually then decided, I think immediately after the recording, we had a bit of a chat, and then we decided we were going to do this podcast together, didn't we?
Yep. Absolutely. We weren't doing video or anything. We had never seen each other face to face. It was an audio only podcast. And we hit it off so well that we're like, hey, let's do this together.
I mean, how crazy is that? How crazy is that? Like, I can't believe it's not even, it's 11 months. It's 11 months since you interviewed me for your other podcast. Come on, cross promotion. What is it again? What was the podcast?
Survivors, Stories of Hope Live On. And that's because you had this really great story of hope. And in fact, I'm going to do a little cross promotion right now. There's the book. So you were kind enough to not only send me this book, but to leave a very personal message on the inside of it. And I'm just going to read it because I love it. Dear Amanda, thank you for coming into my life and collaborating with me. Best wishes, Hrisanthi. I love it.
Yeah, because it's been a wonderful collaboration, hasn't it? Like, I've just loved the time we spend together and sharing ideas and just, I don't know, bringing some positivity to not only our lives, but to other people's lives who are listening to us. Been great.
Absolutely. And it's not easy to talk about the kind of subject matter that we talk about all the time and have this lighthearted attitude and crack jokes. And we're constantly laughing on this podcast. I think that's one of my favorite things about having this time with you. It's not all serious and downtrodden. And, you know better than anybody. I had a really rough year last year.
Totally. Yeah.
Every time we got together, I felt better. I laughed. I maybe understood one of my own trauma responses a little bit better. I could fight back against it. I found better coping mechanisms. I grew because of this friendship with you, because of this podcast. And I can't.
And vice versa. I mean, that's why I said that in the little message to you. It has actually been a complete collaboration. We both, I think we've both grown over the past year. And we've both actually grown from darkness to get to a point, I think, for both of us where we're not just in recovery mode anymore. I feel like I'm down the path of healing now, which is just phenomenal.
Absolutely. I have watched you go through these transitions too.
Tell me about it, because, like I'm just me, so I don't know what you're talking about. I've just done it. So, and I know this is very egocentric asking this question, but I think it's important because sometimes listening to somebody else's journey can help you with your own journey and reflect back on what you're doing. So yeah, tell me, what have I done?
Well, there are many instances where you have learned to have healthy boundaries, and
Mm,
you have come to that point where you said, this person has been abusing me. They don't value me as a person or as a friend, and I can't allow that in my life anymore. And you took the high road, being very respectful when ending a relationship of some sort, whether that's a friendship, whether that's a romantic relationship. You've taken the high road. And I believe that the Hrisanthi that I met a year ago may not have been that person.
mm,
You might have gotten
mm.
very upset. You might have blown up at them. You might have not thought your way through things. You might have listened to those trauma reactions. And one of my favorite episodes ever is the one where we talk about road rage. Has that gotten any better for you?
I must admit it has. It has. What did I say? I can't even remember.
Oh my gosh. I may have to insert a clip of that episode here. It was so funny. I don't remember exactly what the words are, but you had said something about some guy that cut you off in traffic and he just pissed you off to no end. And you seriously contemplated following him home so that you could accost him and beat his butt in his own driveway. I'm totally paraphrasing, but you had me rolling, dude.
Yeah, look, the road rage has definitely taken another level. Much calmer in the car, which is a good thing.
Trying to follow strange men home for the wrong
Oh,
reasons.
gee. Yeah, look, I was at a traffic lights the other day actually, and the guy next to me, I could hear him going, "Vroom, vroom, vroom." And I just sort of looked across at him and I said, "Oh, really? Okay, go ahead." And then, when the lights turned green, he just went zoom. And I just, put my foot on the pedal and, rolled along.
So, in the world of improvements,
Yeah,
has your communication with the people in your life improved?
tremendously.
Yeah.
Look, I still faff it. I was going to say another word, but I still faff it. And in fact, just at the moment, I'm trying to negotiate a really unpleasant experience that I created with a friend. And I sat back and really reflected and thought, you know what? You've really treated this person poorly and you need to do something about it. So I have been trying very hard, acknowledging my bad behavior and being clear about also what upset me about their behavior. So, again, the boundaries. And we're going to catch up tomorrow. So, watch this space. So, hopefully, we can move forward in a positive way.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Mm, mm. Yeah, I mean, she's, excuse me, a really lovely person, very genuine, very kind, very compassionate, but she's got her traumas, just like I have mine. And sometimes, as we will know, that when you've got two people together who have experienced complex trauma, sometimes we trigger each other, and that's really, really hard.
Absolutely. And this is a real issue for so many people everywhere,
Mm,
and
mm,
I have to say that was one of the things that was really holding me back from doing something that I've been wanting to do for a very long time. And I'm finally starting to get into that because of the progress that I've made over the
mm.
last year.
Yeah, tell us about that because you're amazing. Like, um, you started off the year last year sort of up here, and then it took like a huge nosedive, and then you went back up again, and another nosedive, and then up, and then towards the end of 2023, like
It
it
kind
was
of
a
went.
deep nosedive. Yeah, like it was.
So for the
But look at
people
you
who
today.
don't know, yeah, finally, right?
Yeah.
So for the people who don't know, Back in March of last year, my chronic hives returned. And I found out that there was a good possibility that the reason that I was suffering with hives every single day, covered from head to toe, was because I had a prolonged exposure to mold poisoning.
Mm. That's horrific.
I was on injections that were very painful in the backs of my arms for a little while, every 2 weeks.
Mm.
It was not doing anything. It wasn't touching it. And I lived in this absolute fearful space of nobody's going to be able to fix this. I'm in constant agony. There was severe joint pain that was attached to this. There was extreme inability to sleep, which is something we're going to get into next month.
Mm.
All of
Mm.
these problems were kind of building up, and I wasn't sure how I was going to deal with it. And I remember there was one night where I woke up and I was in so much pain that I just started to cry.
It's awful.
My husband woke up too, which the man slept through a car accident where he broke his ankle. The paramedics had to wake him up. So things don't typically wake him up.
Mm.
And my very quiet crying woke him up.
Oh.
And I said, something's got to give. Something's got to change. So we dug in and we finally found a doctor who could give me a different medication that might be able to start trying to maybe touch it a little bit. I got properly diagnosed. I ended up on 47 different medications through
Wow.
all of this.
I didn't realize it was that many. Like I knew it was a lot, but 47? I can't even get my head around that idea.
Yeah, I finally counted them one day. But it was right after
Wow.
I started all these different medications that my husband lost his job. And with his
I remember
job,
that well.
yeah, there went our medical insurance.
Mm.
So now all of a sudden, all this stuff has to come out of pocket. And he said, don't worry about it. Just take care of it. We've got this. We'll get through it. And I was absolutely terrified, of course, as anybody would be. I was worried this was going to send us into bankruptcy. We had to cash out the 401k. We almost didn't have anything left over. And right before he had lost his job, we were talking about moving. We were going to sell the house and move into a nice big place. Everything came crashing in around us. We had family members get sick. We had family members come and try to accost us. Just all of this trauma was building on top of trauma, and it was bringing back all these bad memories from me. I was going through a really rough time. And finally, on my birthday, December 11th, my husband finally found another job and started on that day. And
What a great birthday present.
It was perfect. Oh my gosh, what better birthday present can you ask for than to have the house to yourself for a day? Then my cat got sick.
Oh, yeah, that was awful.
Yeah. So here I thought we were going to end the year on a high note and we were going to be doing great. And my cat got sick right before Christmas. And I kept on thinking and hoping and praying that maybe he would just get through Christmas. Just get through Christmas with us. I don't want to lose him on Christmas. I don't want to lose him right before Christmas because now I'm going to have this whole new horrible association.
Mm.
And he made it through Christmas. And he died on the 12-year anniversary of the day I got him.
Wow.
That was December 28th.
He'd done what he was here to do.
Yeah. He taught me how to love again.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah. I'd gotten him less than a year after I got out of trafficking. So I got out of trafficking in June. I found him in December. Rather, he found me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I'm sure he did find you. Yeah.
So yeah, the year kind of fizzled out and I had a lot of issues. And then the beginning of this year happened and I was having some major trauma anniversaries. So it was January 11th was the day that I had moved to Scotland. And that was the last time that I'd gotten trafficked. So every year when January 11th is sneaking up on me, I start going through all of this trauma stuff. It's like, how do I deal with this? I'm overwhelmed. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I don't want to wake up. I don't want to go to sleep. Everything was wrong. But because of everything that we've been through, everything that we talked about, pretty much every episode last year associated with something that I was going through right then and there.
Mm.
And I started doing my research for the episode that we were originally going to record today. the inability to sleep. That one's coming up next episode. And doing that research helped me to actually get to sleep and to rest while I was going through this trauma anniversary.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything that you and I have done since the day we met has been beneficial in some way.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
It's so cool. And
And
I
look
have
at you,
this
you're radiating. And it was a really interesting point you just raised about trauma anniversaries, because the body keeps score.
Mhm.
And even if we don't consciously remember or are aware consciously that, this was a particular anniversary, our bodies know and they fight back. And one of the really important things to understand as somebody who's recovering from trauma is that our bodies give us neon light messages, whether it's getting a migraine or, as you say, the inability to sleep, digestive issues, you name it. Our bodies are some way going to let us know that it's an anniversary. And it's only when we start using the coping mechanisms that you and I have talked about over the last 12 months that over time we actually go through not just recovery, but we get to a point of healing, which is, I think I said to you before, that's where I feel like I'm at right now.
Yeah.
So I'm going to add some cross promotion now because it segues quite nicely. So my book, Getting Out, Claim Your Life After Narcissistic Abuse, is I had a limited number of copies printed, and I have decided that my limited number of copies is now, I've got a couple of copies left. I'm not going to do a reprint. So the only way that people can now purchase my book is through Amazon.
Wow, exclusive.
Exclusive, yeah.
I think I
So,
like that.
yeah. So what I am now embarking on, and with it being, it's my year of healing. That's what it was like. Last year was a year of choices. And I made a lot of choices. For example, doing this podcast with you, that was a brilliant choice. And towards the end of last year, I decided that this year was going to be my year of action. And my action is all about healing. And what I have decided to do is do a 365-day challenge where I'm actually inviting you guys who are listening to be part of that. So I'll tell you, I've written it all out. I am a girly spot. So what my 3 challenges are for 2024 is 1, being authentically me. 2, maintaining my well-being. And 3, building connections. So tonight, Australian Eastern Standard Time, excuse me, 8:30 p.m. So it'll be too late for everybody who's listening. But you'll be able to see a recording on my Facebook page. I'm going to start an introductory course called my 365-day challenge intro workshop, where I'm going to outline to people what the 365-day challenge is all about. Excuse me. But also invite listeners and followers to actually come on board and come up with their own 365-day challenge. So it's going to go under the hashtag my 365-day challenge. Monica, like the label, whatever they call it. I'm not up to it with all of this social media stuff, but you know what I'm talking about. Like the Me Too movement had the hashtag, so mine's hashtag my 365-day challenge. And I'm going to, over the next 12 months, run courses online. So the first one, after the introductory one, is Reclaim Your Best You. And it's about working out what our ethics are, what our values are, so that we can start from a place of knowing who we are. So knowing So being authentically you. In order to be authentically you, you need to know who you are and reclaim your best you. The next course I'm going to run is called Riding the Roller Coaster. And basically, it's all about controlling emotions. So the stuff that we've been talking about this past 12 months from around growth from darkness, it's about that emotional regulation.
Including road rage.
Including road rage, of course. And then I am going to start my sort of signature course called the Trust Recovery Program. Do you want to know what trust stands for?
Yes, I love anagrams.
You do. You love anagrams, and I should just be able to remember it, but I just need to make sure. So this is my trust model. 1, trust your gut. 2, reach out. 3, unbind from the past. 4, stay grounded. And 5, tear apart the wounds. And that's when the healing occurs. So when we can actually tear apart the wounds, dissect them, get rid of them, that's when our healing starts and we can live our best lives.
Right. We can't just get over something. We have to get through it.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. And this is what we're going to be doing this year on Growth from Darkness. So, as you said, it's going to be a once a month podcast. But what we're going to do in the meantime, for people who are catching up, who haven't actually listened to our podcast before, and even our regular listeners who'd like to go back and just sort of recap what we covered last year. Some people might have missed episodes. Every second week, of the month, we're going to actually replay our episodes from last year. And along with that, I'm going to be writing a blog, and we're going to be providing hot tips or top tips for dealing with, trauma and growing from darkness. And, along the way, there might be some hot topics that we need to talk about that are relevant to growing from darkness. So that's where we're at this year. So it's exciting stuff. We're going to have a lot happening. And so that means we'll be on air twice a month. But the first part will be recapping last year. The second part will be our new recorded episodes. So I'm excited to get this happening.
Absolutely. This is going to be amazing. And we're going to cover some really cool stuff this year.
Tell us about it. Tell us about it.
I've mentioned already a couple of times that one of the things we're going to cover next month is the inability to sleep, because I know there's so many trauma survivors that are going through that. We're going to cover the feelings of guilt and shame, mood swings.
Oh, yeah.
Flashbacks, restlessness, oversleeping, transference of emotions. I bet there's so many people out there that have no idea what that specifically means. And we're going to get into that in one of those episodes. We're going to be talking about triggering sights, triggering sounds, triggering smells. And this one's going to surprise a lot of people. A lot of people don't realize that this is even a trauma reaction. Perfectionism.
Oh, yeah.
That's huge. I know we've both had to deal with that.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time. In fact, everything you've just listed, I have experienced all of those on steroids.
Yeah. How am I not surprised? This is why I wanted to do this with you. Not only do you have the experience, but you're all right talking about your experience.
Oh, yeah. I'm such an idiot.
You're not an idiot. You're just an open book.
I'm just what?
You're just an open book.
An open book. Yeah, heart on the sleeve.
Really?
Yeah. And actually, if you're going to flash the book again and do the cross promotion, the last 5 chapters of that book, Getting Out, are the trust program. I actually outline my trust program in the last 5 chapters. So those of you who want to be part of it, you can actually buy the book through Amazon, and then you can find out about what the trust model is, and we're going to explore it together as the year goes on, because I need to get these other courses done first, and it's going to be, probably, I would say around about June, where I'm really going to start doing the trust program. So I'm looking
Subscribe for more content.
This is really cool. And I've had your book for a little while, but I haven't quite gotten to that point of it yet. So I've got some reading to catch up on.
You do.
I'm sitting here trying to read it already.
You can't do that.
I should be doing right now.
No.
But it's so good. So,
well, it's from the heart. It's my lived experience. I tell it from my perspective. I hopefully have done it with kindness and compassion and empathy towards those who impacted on me, because I impacted on them as well, and that's part of the whole trauma thing. It's a toxic train wreck.
Yeah. And you've spent so much of your life being so thoughtful of other people. I am absolutely blessed to have you with me.
Me too.
Are an angel in my life.
Oh, right back at you, lovely. I am conscious that our recording is about to wind up. So what's the last message that you would like to give our listeners today?
Just remember to tune in. Remember to support the podcast, because of course we don't get paid to do any of this. This is all our own thing. We're doing it because we have a passion for helping people. We have a passion for what we've written. We have a passion for what we're sharing. And we have a passion just for spending time together, because she's amazing.
And she's amazing too. So thank you, everybody. Been great to talk with you and Amanda, and love you all, our listeners, and see you soon.
Subscribe for more content.